Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Saturday, the 14th of May, and yeah, it's Eurovision Song Contest weekend, also the weekend of Zoom meeting of a crochet clan, and I will get, in about 15 minutes, I will get a visit from a visitor, from my godmother, and I feel a little bit rushed, so if I break or take a pause in the middle, then you know why, and then I will just come back later. Today I have for you 3 finished objects and 1 work in progress of many I actually have lying around, and some incoming. So let's breathe in, breathe out, Claudia. I feel rushed, but it shouldn't come across to you. So let's start with finished objects. First of all, you've seen this before. The only addition I've made to it is that I've added a pom-pom to my Musselburgh hat in orange, which means that it's not reversible anymore, but I believe that I will only wear the orange side anyway. So I bought, a while ago, I bought this pom-pom from Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam online, and yeah, so I decided that I would add a pom-pom to it, so that it's even more outrageous. Sorry, I'm dropping on my whips at my finished objects. So this is my finished object. It's far too warm today to wear a hat. And then let's embrace the mess I am. And then I've got my loop, the Viola loop shawl, which I've shown you as a whip, and now it's finished. So I can put this on as well. And if I would have had more yarn, I would have made it bigger. You can see the sparkles. But it's fine. It's fine, it's perfect. Yeah, I like the color. And that's an understatement. So this is the bead stitch. I will write down the instructions and put it up somewhere. I will let you know on Instagram. Then my next finished object. My next finished object is the corner to corner shawl. And usually it would have it would naturally have that kind of jagged border on the top, but absolutely clean edges on the other 2 sides of the triangles. But I've actually added like a border here, and I'm still thinking about extending this, but maybe not. I could, maybe in a different version, I could do this, and then I would use back post stitches with different colors, and I could add to that shawl. Maybe that's an idea for the future. But this is just a simple shawl or wrap for keeping me warm. Yeah, so finished object number 2. Excuse the pale arms. I haven't seen much of the sun this year yet. It's a definite sign that you need a holiday when your pale arms blow out the camera. So, finished object number 2. Kind of color combination. Then my last finished object is the little Amigurumi Corgi. And I looked up patterns for corgis. This is my Movie and Stitch project for the letter Q, which is Queen's Corgi, the Queen's Corgis. It's an animated movie which I would only recommend for the cuteness of the corgis. It grows a little tiresome after a short while. Yeah, I think the corgi is cute, but it's a kids movie, so it's a cute movie. You can watch it with your kids, but if you are more into adult movies, then I would actually rather recommend to watch the movie The Queen, starring Helen Mirren. Actually, what I really enjoy is the series The Crown. I really enjoyed watching that. But the Movie and Stitch challenge is all about movies, and there aren't so many with starting with the letter Q. So let's just put like a check on that. So what I did was I looked at many patterns, both for knitted and for crochet corgis, but I didn't like any of them. Then I came across this website here, which I put up here, and she had a very cute pattern for a zebra or zebra, depending where you are from. And I kind of took the idea of construction, then made my own, and it's a free pattern. So I used her pattern instructions for the scarf. And if you're making something which should wear a scarf, you obviously have to give extra length of the body for the scarf. I mean, if you would take off the scarf, this corgi would actually look quite out of proportions because the neck would be far too long. So what I did was I started with two magic, no I didn't. I chained 2 and then worked 6 single crochets US terms into the first chain, and then I built from there the first leg. I made the second one. When I didn't fasten off at the second one, instead I chained a number of stitches and then just continued working into the first leg I've made. Then I moved back and worked into the chains again, and then around here, and so on and so on. I changed color, and then I moved on until I had that body up here. Then I made the snout and that patch here and that patch here, and I sewed that onto the body, which I filled with polyfill. The nose is also filled with polyfill. I've made 2 hands or arms which are rather too huge, but if you look at it from this side, it doesn't matter too much. They're just very big paws. Oh, and then I've also increased here at the bum, and I added a little, I pulled it all together here to make like a little tail. So he has quite a bit of a bum there. Yeah, and I embroidered the nose and the eyes. The eyes were also inspired by Zelda the zebra or zebra. And yeah, that's my little corgi. The shawl, as I said, comes from the pattern Zelda. And that's the little corgi. It's small enough. I tried to keep it small, but it still took me a couple of hours to make. And one of these days I will actually make the zebra. So this is the project for the letter Q. And after Q we have the letter R. And I can already tell you that I'm planning to use the movie relative values for my movie and stitch project starting with the letter R. Yeah, so in case you don't know that movie, Go and watch it. It's a comedy. It's starring Stephen Fry, who plays the butler, and then, you know what, I will talk about this once I've worked out the project for it. It's about American movie stars marrying into English or British aristocracy and the snobbery going on, and it's a comedy. Turns out, I can't tell you the twist of a movie, can I? But I really enjoy this movie. Go and watch it. If you're into movies like Downton Abbey and such, so you will enjoy Relative Values. Definitely. Oh, and it has Colin Firth in it. So, another orange project, so it seems. I might call this episode Orange. Yeah. Works in progress. I have made quite a lot of progress with my low-tide sweater from Moorit Magazine issue 2. You can see it here. I love the color. It is beautiful eyelet and puff stitches, which I still have to block it so it will look even better later. I'm using 2 strands of yarn together, which I wasn't supposed to do, but I'm doing it anyway, and so I had to compensate for the thicker yarn weight by making a smaller size. So I'm just making the smallest size, and it works out fine for being then the XXL size, which I need. The armholes are really very huge. That's my own fault because of that change of yarn. So I will have to come up with something inventive. Either I will kind of make folds down here, I will gather it together somehow, or it will be just a very big sleeve, maybe a puffy sleeve. Maybe I make a fold up here, like if I fold it over and then I crochet into 2 layers, then it's like a gathered. It might be actually a nice feature when I have a gathered puffy arm sleeve area. So yeah, I will just think of something. That's my work in progress, and I'm loving it. And by the way, I've shown you one of my 2 Moorit designs last time, the windrose top. If you want to make your own one, then now's your chance to win 600 grams of the Nurturing Fibers yarn, which I've used. It's a DK cotton yarn in the color rose. And all you have to do is to go to Moorit Magazine Instagram account, and there is the giveaway post, and you just have to comment, I believe. And obviously you have to follow Moorit Magazine and Nurturing Fibers, which isn't too bad. I would think you should do that anyway. So that's your chance to win 600 grams of yarn, and you can make any size of a windrose with that. And you could also, of course, make another top. Yeah, go and try your luck. So good luck to you. I would really highly recommend that you try to win this yarn, because it's beautiful to work with and it's so squishy and soft, and I loved it. Now, incoming, I've been to the Shepherd Day at the Open Air Museum in Lindlar. I've posted a video of that before, and just in case you've missed it, it's the video which I posted before this one, and it might be a little bit lengthy. I'm always fascinated by animals and by the history, so if you are just there for looking at yarn, then I might have to add timestamps. Or you just forward. I mean, there is quite a long scene of piglets running around, so if that's not your thing, just forward it. there are alpacas and there's wool and there are historic houses on display, an 1850s dress, and yeah, let me show you what I've bought. The first stall where I went was the yarny one, is Friendly Sheep, handmade by Bönne, and I couldn't walk past these beauties. That's hand-dyed yarn. And it's 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, 100 grams, 420 meters, and I've paid 13 euros for one skein. I would call this peacock blue. And it's, yeah, I really don't have a project yet, but for the longest time I wanted to make something in this color, like a color work. In case you're listening, you're hearing some gurgling, that's my dishwasher in the background, excuse me. And then I've also been at a stall called Naturseifengarten, which is Natural Soap Garden by Mr. and Mrs. Pichelbauer from Verdol. They have their own shop where they live, but I don't believe that they're online. But it's called Rosalia, and it's with sage and rosemary. And it's really, really, it smells awesome. Really, I mean, it's soap, but it's special soap. And I've bought my mother a bar of soap as well. She chose a different scent, but yeah, she says it really makes the skin very soft. And it has olive oil in it and coconut oil, palm oil, all different kinds of oil, and yeah, sage, limonene, linalool, and it keeps for 1 year. It was quite pricey, 6 euros for a bar of soap, but I just wanted to treat us. So this is that. And the rest, let me just show you something. This is the museum's pamphlet. And in case you wonder where it is, Lindlar is right here, where the blue dot is. And you can see Düsseldorf and Köln on it. Yeah, so Lindlar is quite rural and but beautiful. So they have always program there. They have this was happening as well. They were having the horses drawing over, like on the field. And this is the card of a lady where I bought the wool. She also showed me how to use a drop spindle. I was so close to buying a drop spindle, but then again, I know I wouldn't use it, at least not right now. So I've got her card, and she actually has a website called www.friendly-sheep.de. There it is, in case you want to have a look. And then on that day there were many sheep breeds on display, the actual animals, and they had like a ground where they were talking about the sheep on display, and I just picked up one of the sheep farm pamphlets here. Also quite local. They also have a website. I just picked this up in case someone Faye would like to come and visit one day, and then we can go and have a look at sheep farms and woolly things. Oh, look at that, flabby arms. Anyway, so if you want to know which breeds were actually there that day, then just go and have a look at my video. Then there was also a group of spinners. Sorry, I'm dropping things. They had a pamphlet of a local hand spinning group. You can become a member for 24 euros. The annual fee is 24 euros. And yeah, they're just into keeping this old craft alive. Maybe one day I will contemplate joining them, starting to spin. Then there was also an old ribbon making or a house. It's a permanent part of the open air museum, and the house used to belong to a person who was making ribbons, weaving ribbons for a living in the 19th century, so 1800 and something, before the invention of factories. Back then, almost every family had a shed where they kept a loom, and there they made their products and carried that once a week at least to the agent in the nearest bigger city. And the sound of the looms, of the weaving, it was very prominent all throughout the towns. And yeah, so I picked up another brochure. This is only for the ribbon weaving in the open air museum, so this is their program for the year. And as you can see, there is a textile day on the 18th of September, and I'm planning to go there as well. So if anyone wants to join me, book your ticket now. Then, of course, the person, he was, well, I wouldn't say an old man, but he had his grandson with him, and the grandson was helping granddad to make the loom running again. It was the first event of the year in the open air museum, so he was just fine-tuning the whole machine and the whole weaving loom. And there is actually in Wuppertal-Ronsdorf a whole museum just for these ribbon things, and it's called Bandwelker Museum. You can actually also get married there. So here you go. You can see they show you how it works, and this is actually the guy who made it. So his name is Josua Halbach. And yeah, I love looking at these old machines, how they work. And they've got a website, which is right here. Is it in focus? And this is how you get to it, to that museum. Yeah, and last but not least, the first thing I did was actually to visit one of the open air museum houses, because that was, you still had to wear a mask when going inside the houses, and it was so full that day. Lots of people wanted to go out and to the open air museum on Mother's Day, and families were queuing up, and I thought, now or never, go into the house. It was Gut Dahl, so it's farmhouse Dahl, from the family Dahl. And that I also made a little video which I inserted into the previous video, and it shows you the typical farmhouse of the 1850s, but with a bit of fancy wallpapers and stuff, because that family was actually moving away from just being farmers. They were starting to sell buttons, so it was a newfound wealth in their family, and they were therefore you can see it in the furniture, in the items they owned and everything. So it's not just a pure farmhouse. And they had their 2 pamphlets in the bedroom, so you could take it with you. One pamphlet tells you about Schönheitsmittel, which are little it's recipes for things to make you more beautiful. For instance, for washing your, basically making your own washing powder, for washing your hands, for making your own pomade, hair wax, or whatever it's called. Also for making hair wax, which then makes your hair grow more, to get yellow hair. Nah, I think to bleach your hair. How to keep your hair, that you don't lose your hair prematurely. How to make your face smooth and soft, and yeah, to make something to wash your hands and face with, to make your things like that. So this is one pamphlet, and let me just show you. You can pause the screen, and then you can see it in German and make your own. No guarantees. If anyone uses this and the hair falls out, don't ask me to reimburse you or to get yourself to a doctor. So these are the recipes. And then another one is about Heilmittel, so things to heal you for coughs and when you're excited, excited nerves, against a toothache, and if you have a wart, if you can't hear so well, if you have a fever, again, if you have very bad toothache. So just for instance, if you are highly excited and you have to calm down a little, you boil water with Lindenblüten, which are Linde is a tree. I will put the English name up here, and when they're in bloom you can take the Lindenblüten, and then you add some orange water and sugar, and this is a tea which is really freshening and calming, apparently. Again, if you have a wart and you want to get rid of it, if you use campanula, which is a bellflower, or you can use gantelie, you squeeze it and you rub it on your wart, and you repeat this 2, 3, or 4 times, and if they are really not going away fast, then you have to do it more often. Yeah, so that really helps, apparently. Yeah, and if you can't hear properly, then you take an onion and you cut it in half. You pull out the center. Then you put the 2 halves of the onion together with a thread, and you fill the hollow inside with Kamille. What's that in English? I put it up here. And when you bake this onion in warm ash, and when it's done, then you squeeze out the juice and you put it in your ears. No, don't do this at home. Things like that. The effectiveness, I don't believe it is very effective, but it's funny. So yeah, I think we've actually made it, and I was talking for half an hour. without any disruptions. So let me just tell you again, please go over to Moorit Magazine Instagram account. As of today, the 14th of May 2022, you can win 600 grams of lovely yarn from South Africa, Nurturing Fibers Cotton DK yarn. It's beautiful, and you can make your own windrose top with it, or any other top you would like to make, or anything really, a scarf or a wrap or a bikini. Yeah, so if I don't see you tonight in the Zoom meeting of the Crochet Clan, or tomorrow morning at the second Zoom meeting of the Crochet Clan, then I will see you soon again here. And by the way, I haven't forgotten the questions you've asked me. I asked you last time in my last proper podcast episode that I would like you to ask me questions so that we can have a little Q&A. But I would say that I will keep this for another day because I don't want to be rushed in answering your questions. And I can already see, I mean, for instance, Marta asked me when have I started my crochet journey, and I think I will have to explain rather more than I have time for right now. And I might even show you some crochet items from my past, from the crochet journey, the beginning, the year, how I developed my skills, and yeah, I think that might be something. So let me wish you a lovely weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye bye. See you soon. Bye.